to a party.
Would you want to date you?
No. But
So
that's
why are
an
you?
interesting question. Would you want to date you?
Yes. Fuck yes.
Well-
Dude, I'm a blast.
Are you?
Yes.
How are you in bed?
I wouldn't want to do fucking awesome. Amazing.
I feel like you don't believe that, but okay.
I do.
You're honestly, wow.
Do I think I'm good in bed?
No, like the entirety of it, but in bed too.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't want to
On a
date.
scale of 1 to 10.
I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to date me 5 years, 3 years ago and before. I wouldn't want to date me like seriously. But in the last couple years, yeah, no, I got
Emotionally?
dope. I got dope.
What was the hardest thing about dating you three years ago?
Well, I have. I was so obsessed with. I'm just gonna say, recreating my childhood circumstances with my dad. Before my dad died, I think I was so in love with him. Like I was so obsessed with getting his approval, and I was so. All my neural pathways were so crystallized into just his attention, and I was so triggered by anything that reminded me of him, and I was so attracted to people that recreated the neurochemical cocktail that he created. You know, I just was dating him. So if I was dating you before he died, I was only dating you because you reminded me of him, or made me feel like the way he made me feel. And then once he died, I did some ayahuasca. Thank you, Joe Rogan, for the recommendation. And I did a lot of work around it, and it sort of released that pattern seeking, you know, because we're all just kind of trying to recognize patterns, right? So I think before a couple of years ago, if I was dating you, it had nothing to do with you. So now if I'm dating you, I actually like you, and it's and I'm very direct now. I'm very upfront, and I'm very clear. And you always know where you stand. And I finally know how to have an orgasm.
Oh, we're learning so many new things.
I'm just saying, like, it takes a minute for you to find out who you are and what you want. And I'm financially solvent. I need nothing from you, which I know not a lot of guys are attracted to that.
Can I borrow some money?
Yes, you can. How much you need? How much you need? Why, to order a bride?
Uber ride back. You miss your dad?
Every day. All the time. I'll cry if I talk about it too much. I'm obsessed with him. I mean, it was like, you know, it just took me a really long time. I wish I had forgiven him sooner. I wish I had known more about neurology sooner and psychology sooner to know that the way that he had become that honestly. Like he inherited the ancestral trauma he inherited, the emotional tools that he had. His dad was in a war. I wish I had not blamed him for so much. I just wish I had forgiven him sooner.
What was your favorite part about him?
You're gonna make me cry, Lex. He was so funny. The funniest. Is your dad alive?
Yeah, dad's alive. What
Must be nice.
I talk to him often. I actually did I did a conversation with him.
Ooh.
Which was very difficult. Very difficult.
Why haven't I heard that one? I'm fully now crying. God damn it,
episode 100.
Lex. God damn it. Okay, I'll talk more in a second when I know that I'm not going to cry about it.
Yeah, it was weird to sit across. Listen, it's different than you and your dad. I mean, maybe you can correct me, but there's an ego, there's a male thing where I'm mad at him for many things. He wasn't a
Like
great
what?
dad. I mean,
Why would any dads be great until now? With what tools? With what books?
Well,
with what podcasts?
that's true.
There wasn't Rogan wasn't around. Like psychology wasn't around. Like why would any dad?
Rogan wasn't around.
You know, like there was no male role model to look to that had daughters that was like, I fucking love my daughters, they're awesome. Like this is the idea of being a good father, I feel like, or parent in general. Like I feel like everyone should be grandfathered in until like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with parents. You should give them a pass. And
We had child labor within the last 100 years.
Yeah.
14-year-olds would just work in factories and get their fingers cut off. I mean, it's just recently that we treat children with any kind of respect.
Yeah. So definitely, you're right. But still, we're still just apes. And I was sitting across from him, and I don't, especially in the podcast, like the way I usually talk to people is I make them the star of the show, and it's really difficult for me to make my dad to get, because he has an ego, like to let his ego shine was very difficult.
How would where would he have learned to dismantle his ego? And then don't you think his
giving him
ego
a pass?
Don't you think his
Any
ego
man-
served him really well?
Yeah, for sure. But
So why would he put that weapon down?
a good man should be able to keep his ego in check.
But that takes work. You say it's like saying a good man should be able to like lift 500 pounds. Well, you have to train for that.
Well, there's things I admire in a man,
Like what?
and like being able to be humble and like self-aware about their ridiculousness, and to be able to keep it in check, whether it's ego, whatever the quirks are, but ego definitely. Like if you're an intelligent man, which my dad is, I feel like you don't want to flaunt it, and he flaunts it. The other thing,
But
yep.
sorry,
Interrupting Cas is what?
I'm just I'm just saying like in his day you had to flaunt it. There was no social media. How else would people know? I'm just saying.
Well, no.
You can be humble now.
It's interesting, but you're like we're not. We are in different times now, but what makes a great man is the same thing still. Like you shouldn't have ever flaunted it.
But peacocking, why in every species the males are more
For women, yeah. I'm sure. Listen, he's a smooth motherfucker. For
Love it.
sure. So like I'm sure he tricked my mom into like like with the smooth talk, because he actually, the university he went to, like I'm impressed because it was like certainly less than 5%, but it's like closer to 1% were women. So like it was like an MIT type of
So this
place.
is what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
This morning?
This morning. So he was smooth as hell, and that's great. That's beautiful. He's a smooth talker. I love him. That's why I enjoy talking to him. He's fun.
Which is good. Why does that have to be pejorative?
I'm another man with an ego, and it's tough to sit in front of your dad and to say that to tell him that he was a great person, and to give him my platform for his ego to shine. I have had probably over 1,000 people now. I get a lot of people write to me about that episode. They write to me that I'm lucky to have a dad like that. He's such a great person. Like I knew that was coming. And because the way I wasn't going to talk shitty about him on that conversation, so I wanted him to shine. It was tough. I'm just being honest, but the way I approached it, the reason I did it is I was thinking, when he passes away, 20 years from now, would I be glad that I did this conversation? And if the answer is yes, then yes. And I was thinking about this way, like when I'm an old man myself, like looking back at that, I'll miss the guy. He was an incredible human. But in the moment, he was so damn cocky.
What did you... Well, he's also not a public figure. He's going on a podcast. He doesn't know. He's probably doing an impression of what he thinks he's supposed to be doing.
No. He's ready. He does go on podcasts, all that, but he checks the number of views his video gets.
Why wouldn't he?
Regularly.
Well, he also raised you. He's obviously smart.
I know.
He had you. Do you think he did a bad job?
Well, I'll be different. I think he's also was afraid to show this is where you're going to say, yeah, everybody back in the day.
He also looks like Albert Einstein.
Yeah, he's legit. Just like Albert
Einstein.
Einstein.
Dude, so I'd have an ego too if people conflated me with Albert Einstein all the time.
Yeah, that's actually what he does.
What do you want that he didn't give you?
I don't want to criticize him too much, but
because I would imagine any shortcomings he's had or things that he didn't give you, you were able to develop the maladaptive behaviors that made you great.
Okay, my childhood was perfect because it was perfect in that it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't traumatic enough to actually do real
Having
damage.
A perfect childhood sounds like a nightmare. You're not prepared for real life. The most disappointing people I know had great childhoods.
Exactly.
I'm just saying they're not prepared for real life. They can't handle conflict. They can't handle adversity. They can't handle curveballs. It's just like, I think adversity is good.
Yeah.
I'm one of those bullying is good people.
Yeah, which makes you wonder about like how to be a good parent.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't
Yes, it does.
give me any attention, so he was very distant, which has a very nice feature that it makes you want to earn their attention. Therefore, you work hard. Like I'm always
me
seeking
too.
his approval. Great.
Me too.
So that's a nice feature. I'm not sure what to do with that.
So he gave you your engine to
Yeah, the
start a business that's going to make you a billionaire?
Yeah, that's a
Fuck you, Dad.
Well, no, I told that part to him that that's a gift. There's parts like I'm a total bro in a sense. Like I may not look like it, but I have like a Rogan inside me. And my dad, like I really am a man's man. Except for the times in like Harvard Square and academia rubs off on me. But for the most part, man's man.
What does a man's man mean? May I get
Like,
granular?
There's just a list of stupid shit you do. Like I like lifting heavy things. I like building stuff. I love the idea of hunting. I love fishing. I like knives and guns and
Risk, danger.
risk and danger. Yeah,
Okay, so all like the carnal sort of,
I love fighting, combat, violence.
but not in relationships. That's the thing
Are we
that.
back to the last night?
Yep. Well, I'm just saying it fascinates me that the guys that want to fight the most physically have no tolerance for emotional sparring in relationships. Like, fuck, this bitch is dramatic. It's like, you just did jujitsu for 5 hours and we can't have work this out.
I love fighting and
Play fighting?
No, it's not. I would say it's the dance of human connection, right?
Yeah.
The tension, the push and pull, all that kind of stuff is different. That's not what I'm referring to when I'm referring to fighting. I mean, like literally getting in a street
Yes.
fight, just two monkeys going at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
The adrenaline.
The adrenaline, I'm an alpha. Like I'm a badder motherfucker than you. Yeah, you embrace that. I don't know why I love that.
Yeah.
but,
I think it's probably a little bit of nature, a little bit of nurture, a little bit of Russia.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, thank you for the listeners. I was born in the Soviet Union, but my dad was he was afraid of all of that. He was I'm allergic to the word nerd a little bit because he was very much a nerd.
So let me ask you, I was talking to someone recently, I think we were like texting off of a dating app. I'm so bad on dating apps because
Which dating app?
Raya. This is like
I didn't know about that
this is like, yeah, you do.
That's the elitist.
It's like the elitist celebrity one. It's like it's just like a bunch of guys in V-necks with man buns holding French bulldogs that don't belong to them. It's a disaster.
You've had success on apps?
I met someone and was engaged to someone off of Raya, an amazing person.
Last time we talked was you were engaged.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, I was playing hard to get. I don't think I was because I looked back at our interview and I was not wearing an engagement ring. I think that the dating app thing is like, there's this, and I built my house making fun of dating apps, but how is it any less weird than meeting someone in person? I actually think it's better. My new thing is, and especially as someone that works in AI, I'm curious what you think. Everyone's like, well, this is the end of it. You can't have a real connection with someone. I disagree. I totally think there's so much intimacy in being able to text with somebody, seeing how they use words, seeing how they use punctuation, then FaceTime. My new thing is before a date in person, I like to FaceTime.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I like to because for a couple reasons. Number one, I get to see your house without having to go back to your house and being a whore.
Yeah.
I get to sort of like see what I'm dealing with. Not because I want it to be big or fancy. I just like to see what kind of person you are. I especially want to know what kind of what color your hand towels are. Which color are yours?
Hand towel.
Hand towels. Oh, yeah. See,
hand towels.
black
I don't
hand
have
towels.
Hand towels.
Can't do it.
Oh, hand towels.
Hand towels.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
White towels are the only option for me.
I gotta. When is this interview? This
This is an
awkward already.
irreconcilable difference.
How do you get out of a bad date, by the way? What's the escape clause?
On FaceTime is the best. So my Wi-Fi, my phone died. Like it's the best. I had a really bad FaceTime date the other night. It was like we were texting off of Raya, and he's like, "Let's just FaceTime." I'm like, "Great." And like, fuck it, let's go for it. Let's just do it. And he was wasted. It was awful. It was really embarrassing.
Yeah, that's.
But it
kinda
saved
interesting.
me. It saved me
Yeah.
going to see him in person, and
See, but here's the. Let me play devil's advocate.
Please.
Because the choice that the app provides, like the easy escape. Because like I'm stuck here right now doing this podcast, so like I'm fully engaged, and I won't see another female of the species for like a long time, right? So like,
why not?
it doesn't matter. The point is that the lack of choice, like it really forces you to really appreciate this moment. I don't know. There's something about apps where you're like shopping that doesn't feel
Well,
right.
yes, no, I mean, it really is. And I think it gives you an exaggerated sense of what's available, like I think less people are committing now because they're just like, well, what else is out there? You're always looking for the upgrade, right? It's always like, but what if I can't settle for this person because there's so many other people out there, but they're actually not available to you, but I think it's sort of like becomes like a gambling addiction a little bit.
Like I feel like you have to legitimately fully consider that this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, and like live with that thought, like as you're doing the first date.
Are you just such a perfectionist about what you want to commit to that's what sort of stops you from?
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah. Maybe we disagree on this, but I think like dating a lot of people, it's not my thing.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, but like, and I actually believe that, I don't know, my own psychology, we're all different, but my own psychology is like if I date a lot of people, it's going to make me less capable of finding the right person for me.
Interesting, because I like to just not date unless it's someone that I think is like exceptional. But then I was like, I feel like I have to get my reps in. I feel like it's all practice. Like I have to practice or see what I don't want in order to know what I do want, or I have to just like experiment.
I just feel like the person that you do want will be the quiet person in the corner that you won't glance at because you
The stalker. The stalker in the corner just watching you.
because you're getting your reps in, like, I don't know. I have this, because we've talked off mic about like fasting and so on. You know how delicious anything tastes after you fast for like 48 hours? It's like the most delicious thing. And I can marry that thing.
So you like to deprive yourself so that when you do indulge, it's maximum pleasure.
I don't know if I'm just giving you a philosophical fact that when you have scarcity, you enjoy it more. And I think you really give you the experience. It's not like the experience for people who fasted know this. If you haven't fasted, I recommend trying it because it literally, when you eat, the experience is more fulfilling than any other experience you've had with food in a long time. Mm-hmm. Like that's a really important thing. Like what life is about those experiences. Like, okay, so what's a relationship? A relationship becomes deeper and deeper with it's not like the day-to-day thing. It's the few moments you have together that are magical in the positive sense, and then also a few moments of like trauma that you overcome together. I feel like that's where the bond grows stronger. It's not about like optimizing the day-to-day. It's about going through some shit together and going through some amazing experiences together, like those memories. That's why it's easier, I think, if you get into a relationship and like when you're super young. Then you form a lot of those memories before you know what the hell you're doing.
That's right.
And then those memories are a beautiful thing that you share together. Which so when you're in your 30s or 40s, it sucks. It's tougher.
I'm really debating whether I should say this, but the fasting thing, how long have you done this?
I feel like you're judging with
I'm not
the whole
judging.
bit.
I'm not judging. We're just
How long have you done this? Yeah.
Well, no, it's just I think that
Let me take a sip of this sugar-free Red Bull.
Red Bull, that's the only thing he's eating today. Well, no, I think that the fasting thing, I'm not I know there's science to back up why it works, et cetera, but I think women have such a different relationship with food on average, not generalizing. It's like I had eating disorders. Like I was anorexic. Like I fasted for 15 years. Like I wasn't like a mental performance athlete. I just like hated myself, So I think fasting is like, I think women have a slightly different relationship to food and a more combative relationship with our bodies in terms of making it smaller. Men always want to make their bodies bigger. Women always want to make their bodies smaller. So it's like fasting, I feel like it's a little bit dicey for people that have body dysmorphia or like eating issues.
Not me, by the way. I'm with Brendan Schaub. I naturally get like really
Thick?
strong and thick, and I like being lean. So
Brendan Schaub's not lean.
I know, but he likes being lean too.
Oh.
Like, you don't even know your friends' trauma.
Yeah, no, I don't listen to Brendan when he talks. I just like zone out.
What is this meathead saying to me again?
Wait, because when he was fighting?
No, just in general. He's a total. Well, I'm very different from him, but he's like into fashion and stuff. So
Is he?
he wants to be
Has
like.
he ever worn something fashionable? I haven't seen it. Is that what you call that? Fashion?
Well, he
dresses like a janitor in a Broadway play.
Yeah, but like I think he's the type of guy who enjoys like skinny jeans, that kind of thing.
But do you have to be skinny to wear skinny jeans? I'm sorry.
You don't. If you want to look good in them, I suppose you do.
I mean, I think
It hasn't
Brendan,
stopped guys from trying.
there's something interesting. I mean, you guys are so different because I think him coming from professional sports, like everything was so regimented and he had to wear this and do this and eat this and ice and then I think now he's like just sort of celebrating the fact that he has some freedom. It seems like you don't want freedom, down to the way you dress, down to the way you schedule yourself, down to the way you eat.
Yeah.
Like you want to be very regimented. Is that just because you know yourself so well and you know that that's how you are optimal?
No.
Or are you just
exactly.
a masochist?
I enjoy freedom. I love freedom. It's just that I have a dream. I have several dreams, and they bring me joy, and I want to accomplish them.
And you know what it takes in order to accomplish them.
So I'm sacrificing a lot because what I want to do is like I said, I want a relationship. I want to hang out with that person. I want to travel with them. I want to do all kinds of drugs, experience everything, just have fun, right?
That took a weird turn.
But the thing is, there's other passions I have that are even bigger.
Like?
Which is I want to put a robot in every home. I want to
do a companion robot or a...
it's a complicated story, but I would say AI systems that understand you well. So it's not necessarily just companion. It's also a thing that represents you to the world. Mm-hmm. So like a little companion, not just in physical space, but in cyberspace. Mm-hmm. So, and coupled to that is, one way to put it is I want to bring more love to the world. And I do believe AI systems can help that. And one of the ways it can help is to improve social networks. So I'm not sure yet, but I think I want to build a competitor to Twitter.
Interesting.
So I think it's intricately connected. So building AI systems that are in the home is connected to AI systems that connect us to other human beings in digital space. So, and I think communication on Twitter and on social networks currently incentivizes all the wrong things. And I believe it's possible to...
Hate, anger, things that cause adrenaline, things that cause outrage, addiction.
Not growth, happiness, and generally just the kindness towards each other is not encouraged. And I just have a fundamental belief that most people want to be kind and intelligent.
I agree.
And I feel like it's popular to think that they don't. It's popular to think that most people are stupid and most people are assholes.
Wrong.
I just don't believe that.
But I also think we only amplify the worst. I mean, I don't have to tell you this, but it's sort of the things we only see that. We're only exposed to that because that's the only thing that gets the clickbait and the likes and drives the traffic. We now take a break from our programming with a programmer to talk about my favorite cereal. I feel weird talking about Magic Spoon in an ad because I would do it for free.
I believe that.
I am so obsessed with Magic Spoon cereal, and I feel like you guys think I'm only saying that because they sponsor the podcast, but I truly would say it if I didn't.
Yeah, she's not. There's been Magic Spoon in this house long before they bought an ad, and I mean, there's enough Magic Spoon boxes we could build a fort and live in it.
We get Magic Spoon deliveries. Didn't I tell you to stop the deliveries at some point because I had ordered so much?
Yeah, and then they come anyways. So
every time I come home, there's another Magic Spoon delivery because I'm so worried about running out.
Honestly, we should just start delivering the ones we have. We have so many extras.
We could build a house out of the Magic Spoon
really good.
boxes that we have. So you know about Magic Spoon, you've heard about it, but I need you to understand how important it is to your emotional health. It's got no sugar, 12 grams of protein, 3 net carbs in each serving. Here's why that's important. We all have body stuff. We do. I'm not going to pretend like I'm just I can eat anything and not feel shame or guilt or be preoccupied. What did I just eat? Now I have to go for a run. Now I have to work out. Ugh, I just ate that. Now I can't eat this. There's no rigmarole with Magic Spoon. There's no mental energy that has to come in and undo shame or guilt. I like eat it and I just can move on without feeling bad about myself.
And it's fun.
It
looks like a kid's cereal. And I want to eat kid's cereal without having the body of a baby.
We both get different emotional benefits from this. I just like, there's no guilt. There's no shame afterwards. And it's also, I'm obsessed with cereal, but most cereal is just pure sugar. And to be able to have a cereal that tastes like Fruit Loops without going into diabetic shock.
Yeah. This cereal gives you, instead of giving you that like sugar high rush that you crash off of, it makes you feel full throughout the day. You can go about, get stuff done, but you had fun cereal. I think that's really important.
It's like fun without all the shame. That's the best thing. That's the worst thing about fun is usually shame follows. This is the only fun without shame. What's your favorite flavor of Magic?
The fruity one by far.
No, me too.
It's my favorite.
I know. I'm upset. I mean, I'm not this is not a joke. I'm truly eating it right.
Yeah. One time I went to the bathroom.
I'm always eating Magic Spoon.
One time I went in the bathroom. There was a bowl sitting on the floor that you were eating, and I was like, "Was she eating this in the bathroom?"
I also eat it like between meals. It's also a snack for me. I eat it before bed.
Yeah, I eat it at night if I want something.
Very much just a substitute for a man at this point. There's different flavors. There's 4. There's cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. I actually like the blueberry one too, but the fruity one I don't know. It makes me feel nostalgic.
It reminds me it feels nostalgic, like you're eating like some fancy like Saturday morning cartoon cereal.
That's right.
But instead you're going to work.
Keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. Guilt free, shame free.
The only thing in it's magic.
Yeah, every time I take a bite of it, I'm like, ta-da!
Yeah. You just disappear. You show up at a new place. You're like, who sawed me in half?
It is. Magic Spoon is magic because it makes your shame disappear. Keto friendly. Ta-da! Go to magicspoon.com. The real magic of this would be if we can actually read the copy without stuttering. Grab a variety pack. Try it today. Be sure to use our promo code Whitney at checkout to get free shipping. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's back with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. But that won't happen unless you're a psychopath or unless you've lost your taste from COVID. That's magicspoon.com/Whitney. Use the code Whitney for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast. Even if you don't sponsor this podcast, thank you for your product.
Yeah, thank you for keeping Whitney alive.
I'm just a fan. I love talking about ritual. I love talking about...
Period. That sounds...
No, I just love sharing with people the things that made my life better. And Ritual vitamins have done that for me. And I guess this is why they sponsored the podcast, because I was already using them.
Yeah, you have been using Ritual for a long time.
I don't think people know that, like, I think a lot of people just get random sponsorships from random, like, I don't work with sponsors that the products, if I didn't use the products already.
Yeah, and we know that. For
I'm just saying, I've been using Ritual.
You were using Ritual before I knew you. I walked in, it was in your cabinet already.
Well, and here's the great thing about Ritual is that my problem with vitamins or anything healthy is that I'll do it once and then I'll forget. Because if you don't develop it as a habit, and they just send it to you every month, so as soon as I'm running out, like, I have no excuse to not take it, and my brain can't sneakily not do it. My brain wants to be unhealthy. My brain wants to just eat trash. My brain wants to deprive me of vitamins.
Yeah, your brain wants to have fun.
But Ritual, like, it just shows up at your door and you're like, I guess I'm going to be healthy.
And not only that, but you take vitamins and you're like, well, I think this vitamin is like works. You don't really know. The Ritual is science backed and they mean it.
Well, most vitamins are sketchy. I'm telling you, most vitamins, a lot of that sounds crazy. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, like QAnon hot take, but like a lot of vitamins are full of chemicals and like trash, which is why I love Ritual. And this woman, Kat Schneider, who invented Ritual, and her team of scientists are making clinically tested a new normal. Not only have they obsessively researched each nutrient in their visionary women's multivitamin, carefully choosing forms that are absorbable to the body. That's the other thing. Half the vitamins you're taking aren't even absorbing. I hate to break it to you. I'm sorry you have to hear this from me. But they have also tested their formula. It's science-backed. That is their standard. Ritual has no mystery additives, no sketchy fragrances or fillers or chemicals or red number 5 or biodiazepine or
Right. It's just a
weird
multivitamin that you can really use.
Yes.
It really absorbs into your body, and it's science. And you only want to put science in your mouth, really.
And also, if you're vegetarian or vegan, have dietary restrictions, your multivitamin might be undermining that. Not Ritual. They use vegan certified, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergen-free ingredients, and their sources are out there for the whole world to see because they have nothing to hide, like most of these sketchy pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing scam vitamin companies. You know who I'm talking to, Keith Raniere. Ritual is designed to be gentle on an empty stomach. That is the worst.
That is literally
the worst.
Nothing makes you want to be unhealthy more than taking something healthy and then spending your whole life in a bathroom. Like you just don't want to do it.
There's nothing worse than like trying to be healthy and then you take your vitamin and then you're just burping up like oyster for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you like go to a dinner party and your stomach's just growling the whole time. And they're like, "What's wrong
like,
with you?" And you're like, "I'm healthy."
Why does it smell like Wharf? Oh, sorry, that's just my vitamin.
It's so nice that they've like
Not
formulated something
Ritual.
it's gentle on an empty stomach.
Ritual uses vegan algal oil instead of fish oil, which comes from the fermentation of microalgae, a patented process that leaves minimal environmental contamination. Awesome. They don't kill fish so that you can think better. 40% of women cannot properly utilize the synthetic form of folic acid, which can be found in a lot of multivitamins. Wow. This is why my hair was falling out in my 20s. This is why Ritual uses folate in its absorbable form to help cover women's needs. That's awesome. You want to read the green?
Yep. Daily changes can lead to big results, so start small today. Ritual is offering Whitney's listeners 10% off your first 3 months. Try it out, satisfaction guaranteed. Go to ritual.com/Whitney to start your ritual today. That's 10% off during your first 3 months
It's not optional.
at ritual.com/Whitney.